The first inning we did, and it's like we were only going to score maybe a couple. We kind of got a infield kind of a cheap hit or whatever they end up fielder's choice, a run, and then, Plunkett with, I think, 2 strikes, hit one in the seats through the wind, kind of gave us a 6-run lead or 5-run lead at the time, and just kind of let us relax a little bit. The midweek games, they're games you got to play, but a lot of times it's hard to focus on them when it's this time of the year. Conference is going pretty good. We know we got to get out of town again on Thursday, so just proud of the guys for coming out and giving it a good effort.
What did you say to Casey Martin? Looked like he tried to leg a double into a triple, and then he came up the next at bat and had an inside the park home run.
I really didn't say a whole lot to him. I asked him if he was out, because I didn't think he was out. And really the issue was there was probably a little bit of obstruction going on there. He didn't have the third baseman didn't have the ball yet. He was blocking his area to slide, and we don't have replay here. If we'd had replay, I'd have had him look first, see if he was safe on the tag, and then maybe go to round 2 and see if he had obstruction. But I didn't really say much to him. I was really, Casey's done a really good job the last few weeks raising his batting average because he's hitting the ball the other way, and he's staying through the middle of the field, and that ball was really hit hard into right center, and 2 outfielders got tied up with each other, and once they dropped it, we knew he was going to get all the way around.
These are the type of crowds you're getting used to playing down here every time.
Yeah, the crowd tonight, I heard this might have been the biggest one ever as far as maybe tickets sold. I don't know what it was, but I don't think I've ever seen more people in here. I don't know where they could have put them. And we're used to playing in front of big crowd. We played in front of about 33,000 people in 3 days this past weekend, and we're going to Kentucky, come back and play LSU. There'll be every bit of 33,000 there if the weather's decent. So we've got Kentucky ahead of us, and in their new ballpark. Looking forward to playing in it. Hopefully we'll play well.
How do you keep this team from peaking too soon?
Well, I don't.
Welcome in. It's our Tuesday. Wednesday. What's today? Today's Wednesday. My goodness. The weeks are just going by. It's our Wednesday edition of On the Hill with Pat G Sports Talk Radio as we come to you live each and every day here on KDSJ 479, Monday through Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. And we let you hear opening audio here on the show of Coach Dave Van Horn talking of Arkansas's 17-3 victory over the Grambling Tigers. Demetrius, did I say Grambling? Because you were wearing the G yesterday. Now, memory serves me right. But Grambling, to be expected, 17-3. But, this is a program, in my opinion, from everything I've heard about Grambling baseball, it's a program on the rise, and they're doing it the right way.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think Grambling is just an institution that's really starting to get a lot of pride back and a lot of history. They're rich both in baseball and football. So I think they're starting to get back, but I'm glad Arkansas is still on the road. Great team. I think they have a lot of momentum, and I don't think it's the regular season that Dave Van Horn is really worried about. I think he's really focused on how they react to situations in the playoffs, because I think they were so close that it would only be right and fitting for them to go back and win this time, because they were so close. And I think that's really where Dave Van Horn is, because he's been a few times, but I don't think he's ever won the whole thing, if I'm correct.
10,463 people showed up for yesterday's ball game. But the one I do have to be kind of nitpicky, Demetrius, in the fact that the field, the way that grass looked for a program of Arkansas stature, coming in, to an environment that you don't play in very much. You would have thought that the grounds crew would have done a much, much better job in having that field prepared to, a very, very, very respectable level. And I didn't think that was the case. I mean, wow. That's all I can say, but I'm off my soapbox. Today, we're going to be joined at 1:30 by Arkansas #1 prospect, junior college linebacker recruit, Jawan Mitchell of Butler County Junior College. He's going to come on and talk to us. Jawan's going to be making his way for his official visit to the University of Arkansas this weekend. We're going to talk to Jawan and just see, where things are at. He's right now committed to the University of Minnesota. We'll talk to Jawan and see where that commitment stands to this point. But that's later on. If you have any questions for Jawan, you can reach us here on our Facebook live stream or our YouTube live stream with any questions you might have. Just send them on in, and we'll definitely pass them on and see if Jawan will be so kind as to answer a few of you all, our listeners' questions. But real quick, we're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to get this thing started. Me and Demetrius, we've had some good talks, and we're going to continue to talk. I got 3 guys on the Arkansas football team, since this is pretty much going to be a football day. And want to make a note throughout the day, we're going to be showing you a lot of the Gus Bus, the Coach Must Bus prospects, pace with space, we like to say, as we'll periodically be showing a lot of the 20 prospects that Coach Musselman and staff are after, and also a couple of the 21, so we can kind of give you a look of what he's going to be looking at and kind of what the future of Arkansas basketball will look like under Coach Eric Musselman. That all take place starting around the 1:30 hour. We'll get those things started, but we're going to step away, get a real quick break. But first, we caught up with Casey Martin, sophomore sensation of the Arkansas men's baseball. Here's what he had to say following yesterday's 17-3 home victory. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a moment.
The next time up.
He didn't really say much. He just kind of told me, he thought that he didn't tag me. I told him there was obstruction and he didn't tag me, but, the call is what it is. And then just kind of flushed it, went up there next at bat, just looking for something in the zone. New pitcher, obviously, so I didn't really get to see much, but just so happened to run into one.
What's been your approach at the plate? He said you going the other way with the pitches that you've been throwing.
Yeah, absolutely. Just trying to sit the other way and take the ball the other way. I mean, they've been throwing a lot outside, and I really struggled with that last year, and kind of taking that approach now.
Casey, not that far from Long Oak. Is it fun coming back down here to Central Arkansas?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely fun to be back in this kind of atmosphere, especially with a lot of fans that don't get to come out. It kind of gives them a chance to come out here and watch, and it's definitely fun. It gets me excited.
This team, the potential, where do you see it going from here?
Yeah, I mean, everybody kind of slept on us, I thought, beginning of the season. Didn't really think that we were going to be there. I mean, we got half home runs we had last year. It doesn't really matter. We got more speed, I think. But overall, I mean, these guys just compete day in and day out, and I think that's what really sets us apart. And I think we go a long ways, but we just got to, keep building off of our success and off of our failures.
How do you keep the focus on the next 3 games and not look forward to that big series a week from this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like going to Vandy and everywhere else we've been to. You just got to take one game at a time. And if you look ahead too much, then it'll come back and bite you. So we'll look at one game at a time, and we'll go from there.
What were you thinking on that inside park run?
I hit it to the gap, and they didn't quite pick it up when I was touching second, so I was just rolling after that. And then Coach kept sending me, and I guess I just went around, and I looked up, and they were just picking the ball up. I don't know what happened, but, kind of glad I could stretch it out.
Welcome back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, and I want to bring in momentarily my co-host. I'm going to bring him up on the screen because I got 3 very important pieces to this Arkansas football team that I feel have to play well. 2 on the defensive side and 1 real big guy on the offensive side that showed flashes as a true freshman. And the 3 that I'm going to bring to Demetrius' attention is redshirt sophomore Jarquez McClellan, true sophomore Mike Woods, and true sophomore inside linebacker Bumper Poole. These three young gentlemen, Demetrius, what's the impact, in your opinion, that these three young men have to make for Coach Chad Morris in year 2 and this football team to have a realistic chance to go bowling? We saw flashes of all three of these young men.
Say the names again.
Jarquez McClellan, third-year sophomore defensive back. Mike Woods and Bumper Poole were the three guys that I feel have to really have a very productive year for this team to be able to make it to a bowl game.
To me, out of those three guys, I think the one that has to have the best season out of them all is Jarquez McClellan. I think with the early departure of Ryan Pulley, Jarquez is really going to have to be that boundary or field corner. I know. You got Brito back there as well, but Brito's not a bad player. But the thing about Brito is he's been hurt a lot of his time here at Arkansas, so you don't know what the shelf life is as far as within the regular season with him. I think Brito can make McClellan a better player just by having that depth to where they can kind of interchange and he can get a breather every once in a while. But they picked on McClellan at times last year, so I think he's also going to be another target this year. I don't think he's bad, but definitely needs to work on his ball play skill when the ball is in the air. I think sometimes he was more so worried about making the tackle than making a play on the ball and actually changing a tackle into a turnover and getting an interception. I think he's the most important one out of that group.
And it's a funny stat that you mentioned, Demetrius, because he did play quite a bit of snaps, and out of the 7-1 total snaps that Jarquez was able to play, 606 of those were in defensive coverage. An astonishing number, which shows that you only gain through experience. And I'm anticipating that Jarquez will come back and be one of the leaders of this defense. I could tell as the season progressed on, he did get better and better in one-on-one coverage. Teams started to, defer to the other side. Maybe where I thought, Ryan Pulley should have come back. But that's a story for another day. But I felt like, as Jarquez started to gain more confidence and coming out of the state of Florida, let's remember that, coming up right before signing day, he was offered by Randy Shannon and the Florida Gators to flip his commitment and not come to Arkansas. So, he was thought of very highly because I consider Randy Shannon to be one of the more well-respected defensive coordinators in all of college football. But on to Bumper Poole. When you looked at him, Demetrius, he was another guy that I thought flashed, played adequately during Dre Greenlaw's absence last year when he was hurt. I thought, as the season wore on, maybe you saw some things experience-wise that he wasn't ready for. But, in year 2, body looks to have put on the correct amount of weight. Now, there's no question he's very, very fast. How do you see him schematically in the linebacker rotation?
I don't know about very, very fast, but Bumper has decent lateral speed.
Football speed, we'll say football speed.
I think he has decent lateral speed, but I think Bumper, out of the three guys that you named, I think statistically speaking, Bumper's probably going to have the best year. And I say that because I think he's in the position to excel. When you look at the defensive line, which is probably going to be Arkansas's stronger points when you look at the positions, I think the type of defense that we have is built for linebackers to make plays. And I think if Bumper can just have similar instincts that he had last year, because Bumper to me had a more productive year out of the linebacker position than some of the guys that were on the team previously.
Right.
But I think he really has a knack for being at the right place at the right time. Not necessarily making the best plays, but he's always in the right place at the right time. Like when he picked up that fumble and almost tried to do the scoop and score. Just in the right place at the right time. And I think if he can continue to do that and just build upon the fundamentals and be a for sure tackler, I think he's poised to have a better season than last year just with the additional help more experience at the linebacker position. I think the guy transferring in, I can't remember his name right now. I think he's going to be a huge addition. But just having, again, the stout defensive line, because I think Arkansas is poised to have one of the better top 3, if not 5, defensive lines in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go on record as saying that as well. I really think this defensive line, through the maturation process, and it hadn't been pretty by no stretch of the imagination. These guys have, been on teams that hadn't had the success. But Demetrius, the core thing that I always watched with this group, and it started there the latter part of Sosa Game's freshman year, is that they were always very good against the run, always very stout. It was never, when we were on our shows in the past, our previous shows, we would never come in here and say, well, they're getting ran over. They're just running the ball down Arkansas's throat. The defensive line is always ranked there in the, that 4 to 9, ranking as far as run defense, and they've improved each and every year. And I think, with the experience and all of the mileage that these guys have put on their bodies, they have a chance to be very stout run defenders. Now, who's going to be the edge rushers, Demetrius? Those are the questions. Will Dorian Gerald, and you and I, the guy looks like Tarzan. Let's just put it out there. But as far as the effort that I felt was given, now, mind you, I know he came in camp a little late, but still yet, over time, I never felt like he showed, that he really wanted to be an impact football player. Now, let's hope that.
Who are you speaking of?
Dorian Gerald, Mr. Social Media.
Honestly, from what I'm hearing, I heard he had a great spring ball.
That's what you hope. That's what you hope that he comes in and plays
a lot of the coaches mentioned his name quite a few times,
right?
At a few press conferences. So I think it really it took him time to get acclimated.
Right.
I think it's on him with how much time he has on the field, because he has some younger guys that are really going to fight for time under the defensive line position.
Solely is nipping at a lot of the OGs, Eagles for the play time is what I call them. These are OGs now.
Yeah.
And Solely, guys like Mateus Solely don't come around Demetrius very often. I mean, those guys have a twitch, and this kid has a twitch as a freshman. He's gonna play.
Oh, definitely.
No doubt in my mind.
And he's versatile.
Play. Very versatile.
He's versatile. So that to me is the fastest way to get on the field. When you can play a hybrid linebacker spot, a hybrid DN, a hybrid corner, you're more inclined to get on the field, especially with these spread type of offenses. You have to have the ability to pass rush and drop back in the flats if they need to run a hybrid cover with the 3-4 linebacker defensive end. So it behooves of you to be versatile. We was talking about that yesterday about how a lot of these coaches want players that play multiple sports.
Right.
But again, I just think it comes with having excellent footwork and being a guy that understands your body and having the ability to move. You have to be able to move to play college football now.
And we keep talking about this defensive line, not even mentioning Colin Clay, Taryn Carter.
Right, exactly. Absolutely.
Jackson.
That's why I say bumper
quality
pool.
Defensive line.
And that's why I say bumper pool, man. It's going to be a free reign. If he could just wrap up and make tackles, I don't see why he can't have 40-plus tackles this year as a sophomore. I really don't. Like that's minimum with the type of defensive line that we're going to have.
I also, too, think that if you're a cornerback, you're on playtime alert with the way that Devin Bush and Greg Brooks practiced, and I think Monteric Brown, I think Buster really came on in this past spring session and is really starting to get the hang of it. I think it takes some time, and in particular, not everybody, Demetrius, grows at the same pace. There's some true freshmen that'll come in like a Nick Chubb and just have it. A Tim Tebow, and just have it. A Julio Jones, and they just have it. Darren McFadden, they just have it. But most true freshmen that are highly sought and highly recruited coming in out of high school, it takes them 1 to 2 years. In particular, the weight room, I think, is the biggest difference that these kids have to adjust to. Because, take the state of Arkansas. You don't see weight programs. really being stressed in this state at the high school level, as opposed to going to Texas or going to Florida, where you have 9 coaches, a recruiting coordinator, a strength and conditioning staff. I think that's some of the jumps in, and it's not just Arkansas. Most high school programs don't stress the weights,
And I have to agree as far as a state opinion, because when I look at like the state of Texas, they're known for powerlifting.
Right.
When you look at Jalen Hurts, he was a known power lifter in high school. So I think that is another thing Arkansas should implement, because I think we got the track part down, but a lot of the track athletes usually play basketball. So that's where that really doesn't correlate to football. But I think if we could add that powerlifting aspect, and I'm starting to see wrestling slowly start to
that's another sport. I'm glad you made that
slowly
point.
migrate. Because I was talking to a kid from Springdale. I used to wrestle in high school, so
I could see that.
And
Was really good.
Oh, dog!
You got a deal,
dog. We don't even need to talk. We're not here to talk about me. I'll pull up pictures where I'm twirling people like Tarzan. but I think
do the Ric Flair. Woo!
But I think wrestling is actually going to help the sport as well, because it has similar positioning and fundamental skills that I think can kind of correlate over to football.
I think the leverage part of it really has a lot to do with it.
Definitely, and just center of gravity, understanding like your body, because wrestling it's kind of, as much as you would think it would be an upper body thing, it's really a lower body sport. And not only that, breathing is a key component in wrestling. So going back to that, I think just Arkansas picking up a variety of sports and making them known in the state, like powerlifting, like track, like wrestling, I think will also help the athletes coming out of Arkansas.
Well, we always got good words. I'm telling you guys, it's Wednesday and the words get more and more from my home guy. I'm telling y'all, keep watching.
Closer to football season.
It might be because the screen. You see it, we double screen today. It might be, just the different look.
When I get a haircut, your boy really going to be on the screen.
Well, we're going to step away and start this thing. We told you about some of the players that Coach Eric Musselman has offered. Michael Foster, players Kennedy Chandler, Moses Moody, those type of guys. And we reached back and we wanted to show you just a couple of highlights here in the coming 1:30 break and 1:45 break. It's just some of the type of players that some of the fans might have a chance to see in the coming years in Bud Walton Arena. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Coach Mo and his diamond game. We're going to have on 2020 number 1 JUCO linebacker, inside linebacker, Juwan Mitchell. He'll be up next. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a bit. Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTH. That's right, On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTH. Holla. Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTH. That's right, On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTH. Holla. Welcome back. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio, coming to you live each and every day here on KDSJ 479. And real quick, before we get to the main thing of the main thing, the Diamond Gang, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, as this would not be possible without you all. Lindsay and Associates, with an office location in Fayetteville and office location also too in Rogers. The Baymont Hotel, located at 735 South Shiloh Drive in Fayetteville. Locomotion, just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. And our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. And now on to, what we talk about, the Diamond Gang. Coach Morris and staff trying to put together something really special, and someone that could be really, really special to this whole Diamond Gang project is the number one JUCO linebacker from Butler Junior College. I think we had a disconnection. We're going to call him and we're going to do a live call. That's how we're going to do it, Demetrius. We're going to do it just like that. Apparently, we had some disconnection going on. We'll try momentarily to get Juwan back on. But Demetrius, as we talk, and we're about to get Juwan on, I want you to talk about just the importance of what it means to sign linebackers this year for Coach Shadmore.
I think it's going to be important because when you look at the linebacker.
Momentarily, guess who we got on? The bird has landed. Want to welcome in 2020 inside linebacker, Juwan Mitchell. Juwan, welcome to the Hill, my man.
Hey, thank you. How y'all doing?
Doing real well. You'll be making your way to the University of Arkansas for an official visit this coming weekend. Talk about, what you're going to be looking for once you arrive in Fayetteville, as this will be your first time in Arkansas.
I'm just really looking to see how it looks, like how the environment is. I just want to see what y'all got going on. Like, I know it's the SEC, but I just want to see how the town looks and how everybody support Arkansas football.
Juwan, we spoke last night, and your lead recruiter is Ron Cooper. Talk about the relationship that you and Coach Cooper start to, form to even get Arkansas to this point where you're, committed to come take an official visit and even check it out.
Well, ever since he came to Kansas to see me, he's been real. He's a straight shooter, straightforward. He coached a lot of big time players, and he knows what he's looking at. So I really respect that, and the fact that he even acknowledged me as one of those kind of players, like that's real special.
Coming from New Jersey through the junior college route, Juwan, what have you learned to prepare yourself even more than maybe what you would have been coming out of high school when you make your college of choice? I believe you told me 3 years you have to play at the collegiate level.
Yeah, I have 3 years.
What will you be? What have you learned from this JUCO experience that you'll take to the next level with you?
I learned to pray when things going bad and pray when things going good. That's really what I learned.
Now, when you look at your football style, what collegiate or NFL players do you look at, Juwan, and maybe add what they do to what you do in your games?
I really look at Reuben Foster. I look at Mac Wilson, Devin Bush, Devin White especially. I like how Devin White, he's solid on the sideline. That's how I try to model my game. Solid on the sideline, on the string, downhill, physical. I can take on linemen, and I'm fast enough to run with people, And Mac Wilson, I like the way he covered. He really reads the quarterback odds. He makes breaks on the ball real good, and things like that. That's how I try to model.
Juju, being the number one ranked linebacker in junior college just this year, how have you handled that? Is that something that adds even more motivation, or does it get, sometimes does it get tiring with so many coaches and, reporters like myself just calling and wanting to just get a little bit of the journey? How have you handled that?
Oh, no, I handled it well, it's humbling, but it's exciting as well. I worked all my life to get to this point, and now I'm here. I just got to keep doing what got me here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna just keep working and I'll take it all in because you only get it once.
Now you're committed to Minnesota. Where's that at? Are you still firmly committed, or is just a situation you kind of want to go out and make sure, see a couple of places and make sure that you're doing the best situation for yourself, Juju? Where's that situation at?
Oh yeah, Minnesota. I'm committed. I'm firmly committed to Minnesota. That's my family over there. They have nothing to do with what Arkansas is offering. That's just totally different. So I'm gonna look at every situation differently, and I'm gonna just go to Art. Just like I found out about Minnesota, I might find out about Arkansas. I'm looking forward to it.
Now, if I come to Butler in El Dorado, Kansas next year, and I'm one of those guys, I'm gonna buy popcorn. I'm getting soda pop with no ice, and I like to go to the top of the bleachers. And I'm gonna watch number 13. What type of football player, when that ball is kicked off, will I watch for 4 quarters?
I'll catch your eyes. You won't lose me on the field. I'll tell you that.
I like that answer. Jawan, what is it about your hometown of New Jersey? That you can always, when people ask you what makes Jawan Mitchell, what can you say about where you come from that makes you who you are?
Where I come from, it's survival of the fittest. Honestly, it's not the sweetest thing. We real under recruited in New Jersey. So for me to come out in Kansas and just make a name for myself, be the number 1 linebacker in JUCO, it's special coming from New Jersey. We don't have spring ball. We never had none of those things that the down south kids have. So it's real, it's a blessing. I'm just putting on for them.
Talking with Jawan Mitchell, number 1 inside linebacker in junior college ranks out of Butler, junior college in El Dorado, Kansas. Jawan, tell the listeners something that people may not know, that you would like them to know about Jawan Mitchell.
Tell them something that they would like to know?
Yeah, something that the people may not know about you.
I'm a program changer. They can know that.
I like that answer. I like that answer. Well, I know you got some study hall you got to get to, but I'm going to make a statement, and I want you to finish it for me. When football is done for Jawan Mitchell, he'll be doing what afterwards?
I want to stay around football, so I really want to open. I want to be an agent, either an NFL agent or start companies, helping kids, youth, and stuff, get recruited, stuff like that. And just let them see the whole world. Not everything is just in New Jersey. It's so much more out there in this country that kids, don't have the money for it or can't get out and go see it.
Well, Jawan, I'm telling you, man, with the attitude that you've displayed throughout this interview and from what I've seen on the football field, you're not going to have a problem accomplishing any of your goals. And, hey, I got something to tell you. Those boys got mamas too, man. You got to take care of how you hitting them out there. You understand what I'm saying?
But, hey, I got to feed my mom too, though.
Hey, well, Jawan, come back and we'll discuss your visit next week if that can be all possible. But enjoy your upcoming visit to the University of Arkansas, and thanks for taking time out here on the Hill, my man.
All right, thanks for having me.
That was Jawan. I call him Juju. That was Juju Mitchell, number 1 inside linebacker in the junior college ranks from Butler Junior College. I mean, Demetrius, I'm telling you, when you think Butler and linebackers, I'm talking about big time, because wasn't it Henry, the one that ended up going to Ole Miss, that Arkansas was trying to get out of that same junior college, I believe?
Definitely. And all I gotta say, you may call him Juju, but I'm gonna call him Thump Thump, because I'm gonna call him Thump Thump because I just seen him lay the thump on somebody.
What's that?
Thump Thump. Boy got that thump. That boy helmets in your chest.
When you talk about him, kid seems to have a very good outlook on life. And Demetrius, I know you're one, being from a military background, that has to speak volumes for a kid that is so highly recruited. He's out of his element, but still yet so grounded and wanting to kind of give back. And, Chad talks about finding kids and making sure, that you want them to be fathers and great community individuals as well. And when you heard, Jawan talk, or as you say, Thump Thump, what comes to mind about where this kid could go? 3 years now, 3 years at the Division I level.
The sky's the limit. I think Arkansas would be the perfect fit, just with Dijon leaving next year,
right?
And there not being a captain, that go-to guy that say, "Hey, here's the keys to the Cadillac. This is your defense." And I think if Thump come here, he'll definitely have the keys to the Cadillac. I think he seems like a guy that has fun, guys that understands the opportunity that he's
What's
been
his
getting.
name again?
Thump, man. You call him Thump all year. He goes, "What are you talking about, Thump?" But I really think he can be.
That's classic.
I think he can be that quarterback our defense needs, because there's so many pieces on defense that we have that's coming together, and if we can just we always talk about being good up the middle. He can be that centerpiece that can really take this defense to the next level and be that 5-star recruit that was one of those dominant and rush that people overlooked and maybe didn't have the star or didn't have the recruits looking at them right out of high school, and come to Arkansas and really solidify himself and be a top tier linebacker, because it's been a while since Arkansas has had a linebacker actually drafted. I want to say Montreal was a free agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Yeah, Montreal was a free agent, so it's been a while since Arkansas has even had a linebacker drafted, and I think
Dre Greenlaw.
Drake Greenlaw. Drake. How could I dare say that? How could I dare? I can't believe I just made that statement.
As big of a fan as you are,
I know Dre. If Dre, so Dre was the most recent linebacker, and I think if he comes here, it'll actually be 3 in a row when you look at Dre, and I expect Dijon to go get drafted sometime next year. So if he comes here, that's going to be 3 linebackers that Arkansas can produce, and I think Dijon can be relatable to him. I think that'll be a perfect combination when you're talking about personality and skill set. I think those guys can really mesh together, and Dijon can leave him with a lot of gems that people imparted to him before leaving.
He mentioned one guy, and if he's modeling his game after this young man, Devin White, then we know this guy is what you say. Thump, giving lumps on the hump. Doesn't matter it does not matter. But we're going to finish this thing out. We told you we'd show you a couple more Eric Musselman prospects, and then we'll give you a few more, and then we're going to come back, and Demetri Side, I'm going to close this thing out. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. Back in a minute. Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTA. That's right, On the Hill with Pat Jenkins, Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTA. Holla.
It's gonna run them bands up.
At guard, 6'3" junior, number 25, Namari Burnett.
X gonna run them bands up.
Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. It's our Wednesday edition of On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. And we just thought we'd give you just a few pieces of what Coach Eric Musselman and staff, he said they like to play pace with space. And, from the versatility that we've showed you throughout all of our videos today, I hope that we were able to convey just a little bit and give you kind of some glimpses of some of the 20 offered. All these young men that you were watching have Arkansas been offered by Coach Eric Musselman and staff, either in the 20 or the 21 classes. And we'll be doing that periodically throughout the season as we want to keep you abreast as to what's going on. But I want to give a thank you to our very special guest, part of the Diamond Gang that Coach Mo and staff hopes. They hope this guy has a great weekend. He's committed to Minnesota, but they're hoping things will change. 2020 inside linebacker, ranked number 1 in the country in the junior college ranks from Butler Junior College, Jawan Mitchell. I want to give a shout out and a very, very appreciative thank you for Jawan coming on and just giving us a little glimpse of how things are going in the recruiting world, where he stands with with Minnesota, and also his upcoming visit to the University of Arkansas. To our sponsors, Lindsay & Associates, with an office location in Rogers, an office location also too in Fayetteville. The Baymont Hotel, located at 735 South Shiloh Drive. Locomotion, it's located just below the Northwest Arkansas Mall. And lastly, our newest sponsor, Corey Beck's Custom Painting. For my producer, Demetrius Johnson, demigod, but you all know him, who he is on this show. He's my home guy. And to our listeners, we just love having you all, chiming in with your questions and your phone calls. We'll be back tomorrow. It's On the Hill with Pat Jenkins on KDSJ 479. You guys have a blessed one. Holla. Hey everyone, it's Pat Jenkins here of OTH. That's right, On the Hill with Pat Jenkins Sports Talk Radio. We come to you each and every day here, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 2 on KDSJ 479. Be sure and tune in if you want to hear about SEC and the Arkansas Razorbacks. It's OTH. Holla.